get that thing out the way. All right, so we have this great reference. Now, this is how you need to put your spots on there. So if I'm looking at my reference right here, and I see there's not 5,000 little spots right here at the front of his head right here, but I look and see, okay, there's a few on this lip. I don't need to necessarily go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't necessarily need to have it be exactly like it, but I just know that I don't want to cover it up with a million of them on there. So I'll just come on here and I'm going to make just a little black spot. And I notice that some of them are kind of going part way off the lip and end right there. And I'll just put a few on there. I didn't do it exactly like it is because I don't want to copy it exactly, but I want it relatively close. Then I notice over here these spots are getting a little bit bigger on the gill plate. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to make these ones a little bigger. This is what I'm talking about when I say draw with intention. I'm not just randomly going dot, 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 not paying any attention to what I'm doing. They're not perfectly round, and that's okay because they aren't really perfectly round in nature either. Okay, they're kind of oval. Some of them even get more abstract than that. Okay, now I've got a few dots drawn on there. Here's what I don't want you doing. I don't want you to get onto your fish and this disaster over here and go, oh, I just want to get it done in a hurry, so I'll just make great big spots, and then I'll be all done in really fast. Also, what's the problem with these kind? Yeah, they're not filled in all the way, so therefore they look a lot like scribble. Okay, that one almost looks like a rose. I can probably just sit there and go like this and go, oh, look, I drew a rose. All right, but that is not a spot on a fish. Actually, it looks a lot like a rose. Okay. Yeah, we just turned it into a flower, didn't we? All right, so as we're working our way through this fish, you notice the biggest spots are right here. The next place where the biggest spots are is right in here and right down here at the base of the tail. The other thing I want you to notice, when you look at the tail, are they just randomly all over, or are they following a line? Okay, so they do that there, they do that here, and they do that here. Now, before we start on here, there's a couple of little reference things. On this fin right here, you'll notice there's some highlights, so I'm going to just come in from the top with my eraser, and I'm going to just lighten it just a little bit at the top. Not too much, but I'm going to make it look a little bit similar to what it is on here. And then come all the way down, and we're drawing literally with our eraser right now. Okay, and I'm not going to do a lot of that because I don't want to erase everything. On the tail, it's the same way. And before I even put the spots on there, I'm just going to come through with my eraser, and in between my lines, meaning the dark lines that I have on there, I'm just going to put a few little white ones just to give it a little more texture. It's kind of cool in the end because it makes it look better than just an average fish or like the goofy stuff we have on the board up there. I'm just doing that little tiny bit. Now, if you didn't draw your tail dark enough, those highlights aren't going to show up, okay? And you're going to go, mine doesn't look like that. Well, that's because you drew it too light. And that just means maybe make it a little darker and then go through and erase it off a little bit. Same thing on this fin. It's got a few lighter spots. Just draw it with the eraser. This one's got a real light spot going down the front. Just put a couple on there. Okay, I went pretty fast through that. It's just to tell you what you need to go through and look at. I am going to put a little shine on the head. That's not necessarily on this, but I'm just going to put it on here because it'll make it look a little cooler. Okay, I just put a little teeny shine right there, and then I'm going to put a little teeny shine up here on the back. Just right there, not going all crazy like with it, okay? The next place it bends is where it goes down here, so just going to put a little shine right there. So we've got a little shine here, here, and here, and now we're good to go. So what I want you to do now for the remainder of class, and I'll move this out of the way, is I want you to go through, notice the size of the spots, and then put that in that area. You don't need to go through with your eraser and draw all these little white scales in here. We're not going to get that detailed on it. Notice when we get down in here, the shapes change a little bit from round to really pretty abstract. Okay? And just notice where they're bigger and smaller, and that's all I want you to do, and keep them in line. So as you're drawing, I will work on mine. I will back this off a little bit so you can see what's going on there. And then I'm going to turn the video off now because that's basically all you need to know to get between now and the end of class. Once you finish and you've got all your spots on there and it looks similar, not exactly identical, but similar to this, then you can go ahead and free draw for the rest of the period. Are there any questions for I turn this off or turn you loose? All right, good. I know you know what you're doing. I think you're going to do well. This class does in general. It's a darn good class, to be honest.